the event. Now we have panel discussion and presentation on design and innovation, for which I would like to invite our guests and dignitaries on the dais. Calling upon Dr. Ajit Kumar Nigam, CEO. Moving on, Ms. Carmenita Mambu, Foreign Expert and International Fashion Designer, Indonesia. Mr. Badrinath Gular, Director, Social Accountability International. Mr. Avinash Kaushik, Founder and CEO, Waka World. Dr. Devraj Desai, Chairman, MSME, ECC. I would request all our guests to come on the dais and take their seat. I would also like to invite Marush.
So we have a very exciting information which I received from my friend. So we have a beautiful gift to be presented to our guests of honors and international foreign delegates. So this has been certified by Khadi and Village Industries Commission, and the organization name is Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog Samyukta Sangh. They are based out of Bengaluru in Hubli, Karnataka, and as per them, they have made this flag from Khadi, and India's first flag was hosted in Bengaluru in Karnataka. So I would like to invite all our esteemed foreign panelists, delegates, experts on the podium. Please, I would like to call upon Myra on the podium, please. And also the President of Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog on the dais, Mr. Ramanji, Mr. Rehmanji, Soniji. So for the facilitation, we would like to call upon. I would like Dhanabiji, please, on the dais, please, and Dr. Layak. Please facilitate. So it's a facilitation process. So we would like to facilitate the national flag using national lines made by Khadi Gramodyog Samyukta. So I would like to invite the organization to present this to our Dr. Layak, to our international foreign delegate. Capital, please, ma'am, please present to us. Ma'am, give me a picture. Now I would like to invite upon our second national delegate and speaker, Soni. She is from London and United Kingdom. Now I would like to call upon our third national delegate, Myra, from Government of Indonesia, to be presented this award by Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog Sangh, our Indian national flag. Now I would like to call upon our next foreign delegate from Bangladesh, Mr. Rehman. Please kindly present our national flag. Now I would like to invite upon our Dr. Gauri Sarupa, the DG and MSME, Ministry of MSME. Ma'am, please come on. Now I would like to call upon our Dr. Ajit Nigam from Ministry of Textiles. And Mr. Pradeep, you have an honor to participate with the Indian national flag made of khadi. And our another he is from Hubli, from now I would like to have Dr. Sanjeev Layak to Mr. Sanjeev Layak and Mr. Raman to please facilitate him with the international flag. Now I would like to call upon myself for the presentation, please. Thank you. We would like all come in front of the national flag. There is a picture. Please come. Can we have, okay, now we would like to have our special guest. He represents as a country head of a company based out of UK, Social Accountability Index, Mr. Kulir. Thank you so much. Let's have all with the national flag and let's have a picture, a group picture, please. Can we have shown this flag like this? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Pleasure. Thank you so much, Rahulji. We have an artist among us. Let's have a huge round of applause for him. This whole event, whatever we are doing today, is dedicated to artisans. The main objective of this event, what we have organized, is to have and enhance through this conclave, how we can enhance the income of the artisans, how we can bring the traceability, transparency, the trust amongst the customers, the buyers. That's what our main objective is. Thank you for coming. All the speakers on the dais, please.
Guys, back into the panel again, and very interesting is not just people are hungry, very hungry. Point taken, ma'am, and taking that point in. So when the body feels hungry, then you also design. How is the body designed to take care of hunger? Thereby, we are going to talk about design in the fashion and textile industry, both from a physical perspective and from a business model perspective. Because whenever you are doing a design, okay, it has to be much more larger. It has to meet a particular objective, and that is how the concept of design thinking and others came. So thereby, would like to really look at things, and I want to start with you, sir. That what do you really mean by design, and is design limited only to design as we understand, or design is a larger concept looking at society as such, and achievement of the triple bottom line, or design of the organization leading into your ESG elements leading to sustainable development goals. So for me, design is not simply a design as we perceive, but it's much more larger. So I would like to have your thoughts on that.
I have a very small presentation.
Yes. Please, can you play the presentation, please?
I'll quickly wind it up. Since time is of essence. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Badrinath Godur. I work with SAI, Social Accountability International, as their global director, training and capacity building. I'm partially based out of New York and a resident of Dubai, but originally I'm from Bengaluru. So it's really from Namma Bengaluru, as we say. Yeah. Without taking away the technicalities of all of the design, I think Dr. Ajit Nigam made a very relevant point on what is design. So today, if we really take away, fashion is not complete if you don't really understand the social fabric of the artisans and the workers who work. Because unfortunately, as we go across the world, we believe that if the boardroom, the board directors do not understand the pulse of the workers, there's absolutely no connection. So you just don't have to think from the brain, you have to actually think from your heart. So to that extent, our organization, SAI, Social Accountability International, we are the creators of the international certifiable standard called SA8000, where several brands all over the world have their suppliers certified. And it's very heartening to note that out of the 5,000 companies certified for our standard, India is actually number 2. Italy has the highest number of certificates, very closely followed by India. We're really proud to do that. China is trying to catch up with us, but really far way behind that, and then Vietnam and so on and so forth. So it's not just in the garment, textile, footwear and the toys industry. We're also probably prevalent in about 56 different countries. So the real mission of our organization is to advance human rights at the workplace, and through that what we did was we want to obviously envision a world where businesses, the communities and the workers come together, because I think the weakest link in the production chain in terms of welfare and wages will always be the worker. Because the worker is the only person in a company who has a role and responsibility but no authority. And to that extent, in terms of the human rights and in terms of all of that, today we talk about ESG, we talk about access to remedy, we talk about access to opportunities. I think there was a very eloquent talk given by Glory Sarana on what are the opportunities that obviously lie. But how can you really have an opportunity felt if the story is not told to the external world? So to that extent, what we did was, we believe that every business in this world, irrespective of whether it's a small, micro, medium or large enterprise, needs to have a social fingerprint. And that fingerprint is what they impact on the society. Because there is a certain intent and there is an impact. So to that extent, what we did was, we designed a social fingerprint process, because most often than not, when there's a bank that wants to provide a loan, or when they want to obviously look at a couple of other issues, if it's a European Development Bank or any of that, you have to obviously look at it. So last year, I lived for 4 months in Jakarta in Indonesia, and I was actually looking at a number of artisans in Indonesia trying to get access for funding. And most of the funding in Indonesia, they were actually asking you one fundamental question. How are you really compliant with the ESG? Environment, social and governance. And you can't go and tell an artisan to comply with the laws of the land and all of that, because for him, it's all about livelihood issues, right? And if I really look at it, like last year when I was in Madagascar, sitting with an artisan, she's an old lady sitting there, and she's got her grandkids playing around, she's cooking fish on the clay pot at the same time. She obviously has to comply because there's a Danish brand that's actually buying handbags from her. So, long story short, if you want to really make the business connection with the accountability, what we designed was, for all the brands from the facilities to the sub-suppliers to the artisans, we designed what we call as a social fingerprint model. And it's a very simple model where a management system has to be designed for even micro enterprises who will actually go through some very specific policies, procedures, and they'll be able to implement a system around their social compliance and social accountability. And we believe that with this kind of a situation, you can actually walk the talk and also talk the walk, both ways. And as on today, we have probably focused on all of this. We have carried out more than 6,000 such inspections, and as I'm speaking, we have more than probably another 10,000 micro enterprises approaches, and it's a very, very simple and nimble model, and we've kept it extremely simple because what do we really communicate to an artisan, a micro enterprise that has just 4 or 6 workers? So we need to really take this up in a very, very effective manner, and today we have some of the brands like Walt Disney, all their suppliers. We've got Kolhan, Hewlett Packard, and even Philip Van Hussein approaches. 2 years back, when I was at the headquarters of Amazon in Seattle, I was actually talking to the chief purchasing officer, and he asked me, Badri, we want to actually control all our supply chains. I said, are you kidding me? Does Amazon really want to control all their supply chain? He said, yes. I said, have you done a supply chain mapping? And the answer was, well, I think we have about 5 million suppliers. 5 million. And I said, so how are you getting your compliance done? And they said, well, we're just sending out a questionnaire and getting it signed. I said, I'm not sure if you really know the way you guys are really going to look at it, because today, Amazons and the Flipkarts of the world are in total chaos. And unfortunately, the small artisans and the micro enterprises are the ones that are bearing the brunt, because in the name of compliance, a whole lot of specific issues are really put forward. So in order to answer that, today what we've done is value streaming, and we've designed a social fingerprint model, and it's very heartening to know that both I Am Khadi and the NIFT Foundation, with active cooperation from Mr. Ajit Nigam, we are able to really transition this so that we really want to prove that artisans, small micro enterprises also have a role to play, and they can really think from their heart and not just from the supply chain. So with that, I just want to conclude the whole issue of why we designed. For us, design is not so much technical. We looked at the social part of the design. That's what we wanted to convey to them as a main message. Thank you.
Very, very impressive. Good, very good work. And ma'am, how do you look at design? You've heard a totally different perspective. Yeah.
How do I what?
How do you look at design? One, you've heard a different perspective.
He's right. He's right.
So,
This one student approached me when I was outside. She's in the school in an art school, something like that. But I always put myself telling this new generation, however you do in the future with the high technology, doing fabric and textile, whatever it is, do not ever forget the culture heritage that we started from. So he said, it has to do with the artisan, it has to do with the weaver, it has to do with the painter, whatever. That's how I look at design. You know, why I use fabric from India the last 8 years? I use saris from Calcutta. I have good friends with the workers, weaver from Calcutta, because I cannot get the best fabric in Indonesia. You know that. He's been in Indonesia. We don't have the best thread to loom. We don't have the best things to do weaving on, right? So we have to work together. What we don't have and what you have here. This is what we like of. So if you talk about the future generation to come, to foresee the technology, the movement of fabrics throughout the world, we have to work in hands. And also the artisan, the traditional one, they have to be with us. We cannot copy paste like, excuse me, a country would do that. Even your style is being produced by big manufacturer, right? By industry. And I dislike it. I love your motif. Even in my batik line, I use Indian motif. I combine with Indonesian. You see my clothing, this is sari. This is South Sulawesi woven. And this is my batik. That's union. That's everything you see in one thing, but it's all about united. So what I see, design has to be united, has to be profoundly appreciate what the heritage and culture has taught us to be today, right? Okay, that's what I see in design.
Right, so the marriage of culture with trying to ensure that the worker is benefited, he is not negatively impacted. Thereby, we are also looking at the ESG goals. And I really liked his statement when he said that how do you ensure compliance by the person on ground doing that. So, creating a framework of this kind is of immense value that puts everything in a structure, and then over a period of time, this is what I call design thinking, from zero till there. So this element comes in, the actual design comes in, and then through a system of technology or without technology, you will go to the market. So what are your thoughts as we look at a merger of social fingerprint? Social fingerprint. This is a very nice term, and we should ensure that. How will this actually transition in a country like India?
Nowadays, social fingerprint in advancedly you can digitalize. So that's why looking after pandemic and COVID, you can know the people innovating thoughts and whatever in progressive of social activities in digital, either marketing or any both sides of it is a very good, nice presentations or will they show the session. So that's why I will telling one message. India also already upgradation in social activities. So many kinds of thoughts will be more than people say will be give the innovative social activities in this parameter in fabric and whatever in this like in India people say.
So coming back to you, the social fingerprint is actually mapped to the ESG goals, and when we actually do it. So taking this cue, and you said India, the diffusion of this has really happened in the country. We are number 2. So ma'am, has such a thing happened in your country?
Okay, we call batik, right? Batik is either you do stamp or you do hand, right? But today batik is being printed. I don't mind. We cannot avoid what people want to do with batik. But do not call it batik. I always say, because I'm in the foundation that preserve batik and the workers of batik around Indonesia. So I said, say motif batik print, but don't say batik, because batik consists of working in textile with wax using stamp and hand. But today everybody says, this is my batik print. Then you say it's print motif batik, but don't say it's batik print. Batik is not print, batik is hand. So if you say fingerprint, that he's not going to call this my batik fingerprint.
That's nice. That's a really nice one.
What do you think?
I think it's a very clear elucidation of what I've just said. For us, because if you really look at it, now thanks to the pandemic, I was not able to complete my 100 countries, and in all the 99 countries that I've been, I've actually sat with artisans, I've sat with large companies, And just long story short, I just wanted to take one thing. Because today I think every worker anywhere in the world, whether it's in India, Bangladesh or Indonesia or China or wherever, he or she is asking you a fundamental question, which is what I call the WIFM model, not Wi-Fi, WIFM, which is what is in it for me? What did I get? You had all this stuff going on, but what did I get? And not to be very selfish to the worker's interest, we need to answer this question. For that, if we go back, if we circle back, I think at the very start, Mr. Arya made a very clear thing that one of the 4 pillars was access to sustainability. How can workers and small micro enterprises have access to sustainability if the model is not simple? So we've kept this nimble, and for us, the reason why we named it social fingerprint is because you technically, and you're not assuming that artisans are illiterates or whatever. The footprint is already taken, the carbon footprinting is already being done. But we believe that a fingerprint actually creates your imprint on a person because you work with your hands, right? With the artisans. So we just thought that's a good connection between, and we feel that if all of these initiatives can actually adopt this simple model, we can actually start to leverage, and whether it's India or Indonesia or wherever, people can get the concept clear, and this design can actually be extrapolated to leverage better benefits for the artisans.
So when you say this, a lot of thoughts are coming into my mind. How can we move this further, collaborate with an organization like yours, and I don't know how much of this is automated, because this data from here, well put on what I talked about in the last month on a blockchain.
Right.
And then when you do this combination, I'm seeing a lot of value coming in there when purchases are being made by managers from large corporates.
Right.
So that because they struggle with this fact. So how do you ensure that what they're saying is true? So technology from blockchain shows that your framework adds on to it. That becomes a digital attribute of the product itself and how it is produced, and it can go very interesting.
I would say it's a win-win because both will complement each other, and this would be an extension. Blockchain would be an extension of this, and if that's very clearly impregnated within the process, you start to ensure that it's a very seamless process.
That's right.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, micro enterprises and medium enterprises get the benefit of it.
And the panel is open to questions. If there are questions, you can ask them. Any questions?
They're all hungry for lunch.
Yes. Right. Thank you so much for this. Lovely. Let's take this up and collaborate on this. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I once again thank all our dignitaries and guests for thoughtful panel discussion and presentation on design and innovation. Requesting Mr. Dharamveer Singh and Dr. Sanjeev Laik to facilitate our honorable dignitaries on the dais. Is Mr. Badrinath Gulud, Director Social Accountability International. Dr. Devraj Desai, Chairman MSME CC. Marish, okay. Presenting Mr. Marish.
Thank you, and
Oh, yes. I would now like to invite all our guests to kindly join us for lunch, post which we would go ahead with panel and presentation on supply chain traceability in textile. Kindly join us for lunch.